Hello everybody, welcome to this new Cinema 4D tutorial. And in this tutorial we will be learning how to create this isometric island completely in Cinema 4D. This has two parts, well actually one part, but I'm going to be using Photoshop to just do some color correction, and the complete modeling will be done in Cinema 4D. Well, this will be more of a breakdown, but a complete tutorial as to how we can achieve each and everything. I'll be doing the lighting and also the texturing part. Okay, so the original credit will go to Davey Frott, who created this time lapse, so which is pretty fast. So let's just go through. It says a flat island. So he uses the Grayscale Gorilla Light Kit Pro, and he starts off the tutorial. So I just slowed down the video and I followed it up, and here is how we can achieve it. So let me just hide everything. Oh, and yeah, first of all, if you want to get this isometric view, you will have to go to cameras, axonometric, and choose isometric over here, which is then you will get what is over here. If you go to cameras and you go to perspective, this is what it would look like. Okay, this is what it will look like. Cool. So we want to go to cameras, axonometric, and choose isometric. And this is what we will get over here. Okay. So let's get started. I'm going to hide all the lighting setups, and I'm just going to hide everything and start from scratch. Okay. Now, before we start off, I'm just going to take all the materials, delete it, delete, and then we can start off. So the first thing is we want to take a plane object. Let's open the plane object and set the width and the height segments to pretty large, so it covers the complete area. So if we take a plane object, and this is what we get, and we want to set the the coordinates to around 3000 by 3000. Okay, let's just take this plane and delete it. So we have a 3000 by 3000 width plane. This is going to be the C. And next we want to make a cube, and let's go to this cube. So these are the settings. X is 200, Y 22, Z 215, fill radius of 11 and 5, and just bring it up and just place it over there. You don't have to move it anywhere. So that'll be the base of where we're going to start from. Then we're going to go choose a landscape polygon and open that up, and you will have to follow these settings: the X position, Y position. I mean, you can pause the video and you can carry on. These are all the same settings. You can follow along. After the landscape, we're going to make a first pillar. So we're going to create a cylinder with a radius of 20, height 330, and a Y position of 37 to bring that up, which is going to be our first pillar. And next we're going to have another base, which is going to be the base for the first room. So the caps are, wait, let me just go to the caps. Here we have segments of 4 and a radius of 20, and in the objects we have a radius of 100 and a height of 45, and the Y position to 207. That becomes the base. Next we have the room. So in the room, let me just hide everything. Let me just delete these materials as well. So we have a cylinder, base cylinder. So I just copy pasted this cylinder and moved it up, change the position settings. I mean, you can obviously pause the video whenever you want and make your adjustments. And in the caps, I removed the cap so that we have an empty open area. And next we have like a place to sit around. So this is a cube with these settings and these coordinates. This is the first cube with these settings and these coordinates. This is the second cube with X of 46, Y 22, Z of 47, and these values with the fillet radius of 9 and 5. Okay, and here the fillet radius is 11 and 5. Just keep make sure of that. And we're going to duplicate that cube once again, the same cube, and we're going to move the position, and we're going to duplicate the first cube, and that becomes our cube number 4, and we're just going to change the XYZ settings so that it's like kind of a bed. So that gets our room 1. So then next we going to make another cube, and which becomes our connection, and these are the settings: size x35, size y16, size z184 with a fillet radius of 8 and a subdivision of 5, and these are the position settings. And then we're going to create our second room, and in our second room we have uh, 2 cylinders, right? And it is a bool object, so I'm going to just uncheck the bool, and this is what we get. So our first cylinder, the bottom one, has a segment of 4 and a radius of 20, and in the object properties the radius is 103, height is 80, and the y and the z position are as follows. And we're going to duplicate that and place it at the bottom, and we're going to set the radius to 96, height to 80, and the y to 223 and z to 332. And then we're going to go and select a bool object and drop in a bool over here, and which makes it, you know, like cut. And once that is done, we're going to take cylinder. So basically I just copy pasted this cylinder 4 and over here, and just made a small amount of adjustments to the radius and the height, correct. And these are the position settings as well. And once we have that, we're going to go and make this another connector over here, so that connects to the third room. So these are the settings. Next, after that, I mean, I'm not going to go detail in explaining how to make this cube and all that, because it's pretty simple and you can pause the video whenever you want. Okay. Oh, I'm completely sorry, this is the cylinder values and these are the cube values. So 35, 16, 167, and these are the cube values. And let's uncheck it, and we have a bigger cube, which is the base for the floor of the room 3, and the x position is 183, y is 16, z is 186, x here is minus 112, y is 228, and z is 161. Then we're going to go and select a cone, and this cone is these like spiky points over here. So the top radius is 0, bottom radius 20, height 40, and cap segments we have 3. I mean, that's the default one, and the z2 is 64. Okay, now I just made a bunch of these cones, so let me just uncheck all of them. So all these cones, bunch of all these cones, and yeah, and for some of these I just even changed the rotation, that pretty cool. So once we have these spikes, we're going to go to our next part, and open up the cylinder. So this cylinder connects the first room and the second room. So these are the settings for the second cylinder. Then we're going to make one vertical one to connect it with these settings, sorry. Next, cylinder 6, we're going to go here and just extend up this connection, so we can copy paste cylinder 3 and just move it up to the side. And cylinder 7 is a vertical one here, which is going to give us our windmill. So once we have this over here, we're going to go to the cloner object, and we have this cloner. So how did we make the cloner? Is we're going to take this cube, okay, and we're going to set the z to 5, sorry, the x size to y 5, the y size to 20, and the z size to 100 with a fillet of 2.5 and subdivision of 5. And the settings doesn't matter. And in the clone, I set the mode to radial with a count of 20, radius of 5, and in the transform I set the banking to 10. So to give us some kind of a variation. Usually windmills are slightly bent, and you can actually go to the views over here. Oops, sorry. And set them right exactly on, just like that. Cool. let's see the top view, and oops, where is the, yes, there it is. So just let's move it into the center over there, and there we go. Okay, and we have our windmill there, and in the cloner we need to make sure that the radius is 50. I mean, depending on the size of that the cube you use, you will have to change it accordingly. So once we have the windmill done, we're going to make this sphere, and this sphere is like, this is usually going to be the swimming pool, and this is going to be a ball. So just a small ball of radius 20 and a segments of 24, no big deal, and a cube. So what is this cube? This cube is going to be the bedroom area. So this is the wall. So these are the settings for the wall, and this cube over here is just going to be the front part, and then we have one more cube popping out over there. I mean, you guys can duplicate these cubes right on there and then change it instead of making a cube and then shrinking it down, taking it up, placing it over here. Another shortcut you guys can follow is that, for example, we have this cube, and we want to make another cube right beside it. So we just hold Alt and click the cube. So the cube is made right over there, and then we can take this cube, take it out, and then we can just move it, take the big cube and just move it, oops, take this cube, move it forward, and make whatever changes you want. So that is how you can make a life simpler. Okay, then what I did is I just went to the internet and I got a object of a pillow, a model of a pillow, and just placed it right over there. Fine. So this is how to create model our isometric city. Now when it comes to lighting, uh, what our Davy Frot used is a Grayscale Gorillas Lightkit Pro's model. So in Lightkit Pro, he, oops, not that, yeah, he used this golden or preset, and then he just took the daylight preset. So if you, let me just show you the settings for daylight control. So the global size is 3000, the sun brightness is 140, the sun color has an RGB value of 220, 210, and 205. The sun height is 8, sun rotate is minus 130. The shadow type is area with the shadow quality of 20, and the brightness is set to 50%, and the sky color is 182, 230, and 225. I think some of these are the default settings, but you guys can pause the video and just go through. I'm just going to slowly move this guy so that you guys can see whatever you want. Okay, so once that is done, we can start off with our texturing. Okay, so let me see. So this is how it look when everything is materialized, and I'm just going to show you how to create each of these materials. So I'm going to go to the function and choose remove unused materials. Okay, so let's start off from the bottom. So for the plane, which is the C that we created, we have this blue material. So this one. So the color is 175, 240, 240 with a default specular, and just take that and drop it on the plane. Then next we have this cube over here, the base cube, and for this I'm going to create this is the material that we will be using, color with RGB of 230, a reflection with a brightness of 5, and a default specular. And this material I'm going to apply it to this cube, the landscape model, the first cylinder, basically all the cylinders, so which is this cylinder, this cylinder, this cylinder, this cylinder, the base of the cylinder, here, these. Okay, so we have this cylinder, great. And in the first room, we're gonna, for this cylinder, which is the outside, we need a transparent material. So this is the material. So we just have transparency and reflection. So in the transparency, we have a brightness of 84, refraction of 3.66, and total internal reflections checked, exit reflection unchecked. Then we have a filter. So if you go in the filter, we have a Fresnel. So this is the Fresnel settings, and we want to set a mix strength of 53, absorption color is white, and Fresnel reflectivity 90. And in the reflection we have a Fresnel filter. So we have a filter, and in the filter we have a Fresnel option, and then we have a mixed strength of 30 and a brightness of 5. Great. So we're just going to take that and drop it on this cylinder right over here, which gives the transparent field. And now for these cubes we have a plastic yellow material. So here is the color with a 255 186 14, and we have a filter, and in the color we have the same settings, and in the diffusion we have the brightness at 295, affect specular and affect reflection on, mixed on the 24, and we have a filter inside. In the filter we have a Fresnel, and the first color is white, and the second color has the values of 255 148 and 0. Okay, then in the reflection we have a filter again with the Fresnel filter, and with a brightness of 2 and a mixed strength of 4. And the bump, we have a filter with a noise. So the noise type is sparse convolution with a global scale of 1.8. The delta is 68, detail animation 60, high clip brightness -26, contrast 14, and then the brightness is 2, sorry, the bump strength is 4, specular is 31. We have a plastic filter applied over here, height 58, fall off 11, and in the filter over here we have a white color. Okay, that is it. So we're just going to take this plastic material and drop it on these boxes, and for this cube over here, that cube, we have applied this a new material which has a simple simple brightness of 1% and a default color, which is not a problem. And then we have this, for these 3 cubes we have a wood material. So this wood material was actually obtained from the Texture Kit Pro. Basically a texture kit, and then we go to wood, and we have, there we see fiberboard. This fiberboard is that. So let me just show you how that was made. So we go in there and we open a filter, and we just get this pressed wood picture, just drop it in there, and in the reflection we have the same. Okay, so in the reflection we have a fusion layer, and in the fusion layer we have the mode to multiply with a base channel of a Fresnel. The base channel Fresnel is the white to a 20% gray, and then we have a filter here with the basic wood texture, and then we have the brightness to 0 and the mixed strength of 20. And then in the bump we have the we need to put in the same texture somewhere. I don't know where the texture is, so just put in the bump with a strength to 100. And then we're just going to take and drop this wood texture and all this, and we can take the plastic material and drop it on this ball and as well as the pillow. Now for this one, this material, let's see, what is that? This cube, we have the glass that we had done for this, the same material. So if you click here and click on assign, we see we have 2 ones. So this cylinder is this, and this cube is this, right? And next, the same material goes for this cloner as well. The last thing we want is these cones. So we just made a chrome texture, so a brushed metal, which I got here in the texture kit. So we go to metal, and we have this aluminium, sorry, not aluminium, we have this brushed metal. So let me just see how that was made. So here we have a different type of material. So if we go to create shader and a go to edit, we go to create a new key shader, and we get all the settings. So let me just show you the brush metal settings. So we have fusing ticked on, and I'm just gonna wait for a few seconds for you guys to pause the video and just copy all the settings you want. These are the diffuse. The color is 128, 128, 128. The specular has a white and these values. Specular 2 has these values. Specular 3 has these values. And the color for this is 192, 182, 192. Reflection A has these values. Environment A has a Fresnel with a basic Fresnel with these values. The environment color is white and the edge color is also white. Roughness A has these values, and the anisotropy A has these values with a projection or shrink wrap. And we're going to just take that and drop it on each of these clones, these cones. So that is how pretty much this is made. I'm pretty, sorry if this tutorial went really fast, but I mean, you guys can pause the video whenever you want and make any questions, anything that you didn't follow, just drop in a comment, and I'll be more than happy to, tell you which settings or which material settings you want me to, give it to you, anything that you missed, anything at all. So let me just see. So we just, I just made a camera. I mean, it's not compulsory for you to make a camera. And then the daylight settings, I just showed it to you. So yeah, so once you render it out, we're gonna jump into Photoshop and do some editing over there. So here I am in Photoshop with the edited version. So let me just hide everything and start from scratch. So this is the basic lighting setup that you would get. This, I mean, your render. And then you're gonna go and add in a curves adjustment. So let me just look at the curves. So we have a simple smooth curve. So we just moved this corner to the left, this corner up, and just brought it down. Okay, so this is with and without the curves, gives it a more contrast. And we added a fill color. So how we did that is, let me just show you. So what I basically did was I made a new layer. Sorry, made a new let's see, solid color. Hit OK, and then I took the elliptical marquee tool and just made a circle over here, and I selected the mask and pressed delete. Then I went to window, and where is that? We need masks. Oh, come on. Let me see, where is that? Brush, presets, character, histogram, layers, navigator, path. Nope. Yes. Oh, so just double click on the layer mask, and I increase the feather. So he puts 125, and once the feather is done, we just need to reduce the opacity to 75. So this is how it is. Cool. So let me just delete the original one. And once we have this, I made a copy of the main original render and set the opacity to 25, and then added the exposure adjustment layer. And in the exposure, I just increased the exposure to 0.77, gamma correction to 1, and these are the settings. Yes, those are the custom settings. And then I got this abstract pattern. So let me just go to Google and just find it, show you for you guys. So Google and abstract, abstract pattern. I go to images, and let me see. Okay, so this was abstract pattern high definition. So let me just type that itself. Abstract pattern high definition. Okay, let's see where is that. Yes, so here, this is this one right over here. Abstract pattern backgrounds over here. Yes, and I think that has a little bit of low resolution. Abstract pattern high definition background. background. Let's try that. Yes, so here we are. This one which 1920 by 1200. This one. So we're just going to take download that, and here we are going to set the opacity to 60. Here, opacity to 60, and the blending mode to soft light. So our original one would look like this, and we're going to set that to soft light. And once you have soft light, we need to take the eraser tool and just take it and just before that we want to set the hardness to 0, and just brush it out a little, all of these areas. And that's it pretty much for this tutorial, guys. So I hope you found this tutorial interesting. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and any tutorials that you would like me to make, please drop in a comment, or you can contact me. So thank you very much for watching, and see you again next time.